What is up, everybody? Welcome to Peer-to-Peer Trades. I'm your host, Justin, at Rebrand. Here it is. Here's the new stream. Not Crypto Jungle anymore. No, we are peer-to-peer trade. So in today's video, I want to talk about Binance. The BNB token is the collateral layer. It is the collateral asset for the Binance exchange, and the chart does not look very good. So we'll go over that. I want to take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin and the greater crypto market as a whole, and what a downside move could have in store for the crypto market as a whole, as well as Sam Bankman-Fried going down. The FTX exchange going down may actually be good for crypto. So all that and more here on Peer-to-Peer Trades. All right, so we have an opinion piece here that we're just going to briefly go over. I'm not going to read the article. You can go ahead and check it out on Cointelegraph if you want. But basically, the fall of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried might be good for crypto. Didn't read it, but I kind of agree. So here's what's going on. Here's the interesting thing that's kind of, come to light as a result of Alameda and FTX going down. There is no Bitcoin being bought on these exchanges. The exchanges are not operating fair. They're not operating in a way where you expect there to be buying pressure on the assets. So because a lot of the accounting that's happening behind the scenes on these exchanges is going towards that exchange's dedicated exchange token, you end up with a very manipulated market, and it's a manipulated market with a ton of leverage in it. So I think that, some of the best, well, actually the best bull markets that we've ever had were before exchanges had exchange tokens and before we had stable coins. So both of those two things have been incredible for adding buy pressure to a bull market. And if we head back in that direction, if exchanges are forced to, show a little bit of clarity and transparency on their books, we might end up back in those days. For those who have been around, for a while, I've been in this market for over 5 years now. If you've been around for a while, you may remember the days where the exchanges actually didn't even have a dollar option. Your options were to trade altcoins against Bitcoin. That was a more fair and representative approach to the market, and it applied a good amount of buying pressure to the exchange. So interesting thing to make note of in regards to how manipulated these markets are, in fact, being manipulated. I've always had the stance here on the channel that I didn't think that there was a ton of manipulation. I always felt that manipulation was kind of just complaining of retail. But now that we're seeing just how leveraged and under collateralized these exchanges are, it's very clear that there has been a lot of manipulation going on. So let's take a look at Binance here. My screen has frozen on me. Let me just repair that real quick. Uno momento. There's the infinity screen. There we go. All right, back to the charts. I want to take a look at BNB. So the BNB chart here is looking really bad. It's a very concerning chart as it stands right now. This is on the weekly chart. Let's actually throw alphanumerics on and see what we're doing. Yeah, we got a nice rejection here at the 50 EMA. This is at a very critical support level right here on BNB. Now, these exchanges, as it turns out, they are not buying Bitcoin. They are not buying Ethereum. They are basically reinvesting all of their profits into their own exchange token and using that exchange token as margin to borrow with other lenders, adding a ton of leverage into the ecosystem and adding a ton of leverage to the books of the exchange. Whether that is for marketing purposes, whether that is for, whatever the case may be, they're just over leveraged and they're using these exchange tokens as margin. We're at a very critical support level here. We got a rejection here right at around the $300 level, 329 here on this chart. And then this area right here, you can see this long selling supply tail coming off of this candle with a huge rejection right here at this support/resistance flip that we discovered right here at the at the initial breakout peak, the initial buyer's climax peak here. So that was resistance, support, 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 now acting as resistance, resistance. If we lose this level, right here, we're at a lot of risk for BNB taking a large move down. So at this point, as far as that, as far as the speculation in regards to what that will mean for the actual exchange token, we can only, or the actual exchange, we can only speculate on what that means. Binance doesn't really have a lot of top competitors anymore. FTX was their biggest competitor and now they are gone. So maybe they're cooling the jets and actually beefing up their reserves to be able to defend the BNB price and defend their margin, their collateral. But if we lose this level here at around 200, let's say we get down here and we break below that, there's nothing holding us up. We built zero, absolutely zero market structure on the way up to this range here. So there would be not a lot holding us up, and we would be back down to kind of the $50 range here. We can actually get a clearer picture of that if I go ahead and turn on the VPVR. Let's make that a little bit easier to see. There we go. Yeah, so you can see just this huge gap here, this huge gap. There's absolutely nothing built, no market structure built whatsoever. So if we do lose the level here at 250, the next weak support that we have below that is around 200. And if we lose that level, we're heading all the way back down to $50. That may not make Binance fail. Okay, I don't want to sit here and say, you know, if we go to that level, Binance will fail, but it's going to put an incredible amount of pressure on Binance in terms of its margin. Oh, I'm just deleting the VPVR. Let's actually get rid of that. All right. Delete, 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 delete. It's going to put a lot of pressure on BNB. Because their collateral is now worth considerably less. That would be a move of approximately... Let's actually move this down here. That would be like another 80% move down. Now, BNB has been holding up, and a lot of people are making a lot of comments to this. They've been noting, why is BNB outperforming Bitcoin? It's outperforming everything. If we actually pull up the BNB BTC chart, it's been outperforming Bitcoin. It's been doing quite well. Now, why is this? Why is this? It's very fishy. Well, it's because Bitcoin price has been suppressed and BNB price has been artificially propped up. I don't know how much longer Binance can do this. And if we start to see an unwinding here, where we do have a gravestone doji on this weekly candle right here, if we start to see an unwinding, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I think we could see a lot more blood in the markets if that ends up being the case. So do be aware, do be careful out there. It's certainly not over, in my opinion. We have more downside potential to be aware of. So please just understand that we could even see Binance go down. Now, again, if all of these exchanges are, you know, coordinating and collaborating to manipulate price and suppress the price of Bitcoin to maximize liquidations, to maximize the losses of the retail customer, then this will ultimately be a good thing. This will force the regulators to come in with some regulatory clarity and some framework as to how they can, you know, operate a business and be transparent, as well as there will just be a huge customer demand for transparency. They're going to want to see what is held on the books. FTX had 0 Bitcoin. 0. They had 0 Bitcoin. That is fucked up. That is price suppression. That is market manipulation. And I would love to see a lot of these exchanges that are following similar practices get out of here as well. And, you know, the prices that would come along with that. For me, somebody who's in it for the long run, you know, for somebody that bought 65K, you don't want to see this thing go down any further. But for me, I want to see it go down. I want to see it go down further from here. So speaking of Bitcoin, let's take a look at Bitcoin here on the 3-day. Let's go to the daily. Now, we've been outside of this trading range. Let's move this down a little bit. We've been outside of this trading range for a few days now. We popped out of it on the 9th. And we've been outside of this trading range for about 10 days. Now, for those who are familiar with the Wyckoff method, you can always break the trading range to the downside as long as you get back into the channel. Let me show you what I mean. As long as you can get back into the channel and retest, then it could be classified as a spring. But usually it's a dip into the liquidity zone. It's bought back very, very quickly, and then it launches from there as you get those final short liquidations and a short squeeze after that. Right now, we're spending way too much time outside of this range. Way too much time out of this range. So for me, it's not looking likely that it's going to be a spring. We can actually break down this local consolidation right here. Take a look at the 4-hour. And it is a symmetrical triangle inside of this pennant. So symmetrical triangles, for those who don't know, those are typically continuation patterns. Where are we going to continue? We are going to continue down. We have a downwards trajectory, so we could have a downwards continuation of this consolidation, going from the area of the breakdown to the top of the pole. And then I kind of like to give it a little bit more of a reserved guess. I don't go to the breakout. I usually go to the area of the automatic rally here of this consolidation. So that's going to give you a target of around $13,200, which that $13,000, $12,000 range, $13,500, anywhere around that area, that 13K level, has a ton of confluence. There's many, many things that we can look at in that general area that would give us the confluence of 13K. So, you know, it's looking like further downside is in the cards. I am still quite bearish. When we zoom out here, also going to the higher time frames, let's go over back to the weekly. We're still in a macro downtrend. We haven't broken structure. We haven't flattened out. So until we can flatten out, the assumption is as long as we're going to keep printing high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, as long as we keep printing lower highs and lower lows, the assumption is we're going to continue to print lower highs and lower lows. So that we will shut it down there. This has been a great chat, really good and active engagement here in the chat. If you guys are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, share this with anybody that you think could benefit. I think in the coming weeks, we're going to focus a little bit more on the Q&A side. So if there are questions that you have, I'm here to answer. I'll be your crypto help desk for the next month while we wait for the trades to come in and while we wait for the trend to repair. So with that, thank you all for joining in. This has been Peer-to-Peer Trades. Have a good one, everybody.